Hey guys, Victoria here, and welcome to the Geeky Sandbox. We are going to be doing a non-spoiler review over the movie The Matrix Resurrections. Yeah, this is a 2021 Matrix film that came out, so going into it, I feel like I will say my expectations were already set in a certain place because I heard a lot about the reviews before I went to go see it. But by the time I was able to sit down and I don't know how many reviews Steven and I read through before we watched it, and they were non-spoiler, of course, that we were like, you know what, let's watch it. And he is maybe not, he's not as picky as me when it comes to movies, but he just has some movies that, or some genres where he's like, maybe I'm not too interested in that. And so he loved the first Matrix movies, so did I. I've seen all of them, but it had been a very long time, and so we were wondering if we wanted to just take that 2.5 hour journey. Yes, the movie is 2.5 hours long, and I'm happy that we did, but I will explain why in just a bit. But yeah, let me tell you guys what this movie is about for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who don't know what The Matrix is at all. Maybe you haven't seen the first one. If you haven't, by the way, you should. But let's go ahead and talk about it. This movie is specifically about Neo, or Mr. Anderson, going back into the Matrix. Though the choice is an illusion, he still has to make a choice whether he wants in or out of it. And so we're kind of following his journey post the other films, and it's very meta, I will say. And so we're just with him on this journey with this choice that he has to make for 2.5 hours. This film was directed by Lana Wachowski, who also had a huge hand in the other Matrix films. So it makes sense that they brought her back for that continuity. Just in case you haven't seen The Matrix, some of the other films that she has been involved in are V for Vendetta, I think Cloud Atlas, and then there's one more, Jupiter Ascending, which was a pretty bad movie to me, but it was fun to watch with Steven for a date night at my apartment. But it was just kind of gives you that idea of this very like outer body experience and large areas for the actors and characters to be in, and like nice, like just kind of breathtaking environments and things like that. It makes sense that she took her skills and background from The Matrix and applied it to those films, because those movies are very good looking movies. The Neo that we get is a very different Neo for the purpose of the film in terms of like his demeanor, where he's at by the time we meet him. And I don't have a problem with that. I think Keanu Reeves is amazing. Very kind human being. I enjoy pretty much anything that he's in. And it's funny because there have been the jokes about him having his John Wick look. But I think it works. It works for Neo with where he is right now. And in regard to Trinity, same thing, right? Trinity is headstrong, smart. She has a soft heart in there. And I feel like those two characters together and individually, they're still very strong. And I'm pretty sure something that everyone was looking forward to when going to see this movie. The new Agent Smith brought a flair to the movie that I wasn't expecting, and something that kind of made the movie fun for me personally, and partially because it is Jonathan Groff. He's very, very good. If you don't know who he is, here are some of the stuff he's been in. Very talented actor, amazing voice, and you can see a lot of that just being implemented into his version of Agent Smith. The new character of Bugs, who's played by Jessica Henwick. I want to say they were definitely building up her character, but I feel like the character was sidelined in the grand scheme of things, because the movie is about resurrections, if that makes sense. It's about what happened before, and what does that have to do with what's happening right now. And so like you do have like these new people like her character coming in and whatnot, but I don't think that she does a lot for the movie. I don't think that she's very well thought out. She's very flat, 2D, and just there as a plot device almost, just to get character A from point A to point B, if that makes any sense. I know that those are the characters people always make like theories about, and people that they want to see more from. And I would have liked to see more from her or learn more about who she was, just so that way I had a deeper connection to her, because her and her crew, I had like no feelings or connections or felt like I was going to lose anything or felt like I had a stake in it. It just kind of felt like I was just there watching people. And that's not to say anything about the actors and their performances. It's just that the way the characters were written, they were pretty flat to me this time around. Young Morpheus, or New Morpheus, however you want to define him, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, there was something about him that was charming. He's been in several things and he kind of aces everything that he's been in. No matter how the movie performed, definitely shines whenever he enters a scene. And anytime Morpheus was on scene, I saw Steven was laughing. I saw that I was anticipating what he was going to say next and whatnot. I didn't know how I was going to feel about young Morpheus. I mean, it felt very, I don't want to say forced in terms of like the writing, because there was a lot of things repeated that have been repeated from previous movies, but that's supposed to be on purpose, right? The whole thing about resurrections. We'll get more into that later, as I've said for the third time. But going to the script, guys, they really did want to do a lot of callbacks. I'm down for callbacks. I love a good reference. I do feel like this movie was drenched in them. It was drenched. There wasn't any subtlety or anything like that. Not saying it has to be like wink, wink. Like there were literal moments where I was watching the first movie in the new movie. Literally. So that was kind of interesting to see that happen. And it felt like the same story repeated, but not in a way that was effective or incredibly entertaining. I described it to Steven as it felt like a fever dream. It was one of those movies that felt long as well. And it could have something to also do aside from the script, but like the structure of how the film was edited and like the pacing and things like that. I will say I enjoyed the first part of the movie because it was very meta. I didn't really know what the movie's goal was after that. Like I said, I think that script could have used a different approach, but that's my personal opinion. I felt like it was a little flat for the idea that they were going with, which also, like I said, affected the characters. Even the movie makes a joke about it being a cash grab, which I thought was pretty funny. It's very rare for me to find myself wondering when it was going to be over. I was hyper aware that I was watching a movie and I wasn't like deep in the experience. Like I said, I'm still happy that I got to watch it because I still went in, like I said, with some expectations, but by the time we were sitting down and watching it, I got to release all of that and just watch the movie. And like, I mean, it's at its core, it's a badass action movie. What else do you want? You know, you got to see people punch people. You got to see people dodge bullets and all the stuff that we love from The Matrix, that trailblazed filmmaking and things like that. So all that stuff was super exciting. The movie as a whole, I had fun watching it, and it's probably because I was with Steven. So it makes sense that we were able to make our fun with watching the movie. But I think if I watched this movie alone, I don't think I would have been as entertained, and I don't feel like I would have that urge to just talk about it a lot. It'd probably be one of those movies that I would just watch quietly, if that makes any sense. If you do see this movie, I would definitely watch it with friends. Don't go in too serious or with too many expectations. Just go in to watch an action movie, because like I said, that's what it is at its core. Action movie with some fun world-bending stuff in it. The music was great. The way the film was shot and the CG and all that was really fun. I love watching just the way fight scenes and like bullet like dodging scenes and shooting scenes are in these types of films. There's just something really fun about it. But yeah, guys, I don't want to take up too much time. I know I've been talking for a while already. I can't see how long it is over there on my camera. The Matrix, what do I rate it? I give The Matrix Resurrections 1 out of 5 geeks. Yeah, and I don't know. I was really hoping that the meta journey that I was feeling throughout the film would override everything else. But in the end, it was poorly structured for my taste, and it was hard to follow some of the stuff that was going on because they were introducing things last minute just because, and characters were very flat. You had no connections to them. There were some nice surprises in there that will touch the heart of fans. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like rating down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get more videos like this. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. And be sure to
free your mind.